Hooray! Today we get to talk about the owl. I hate it. Yes, I know my last video on Stolas was defending him from this hate, but in my defense, I wasn't on my meds yet. Also, back then I was a moron. I still might be a moron. Look, regardless of my brain status, it should surprise nobody who's watched season 2 of Helluva that Stolas is the definitive worst character present in the entire show, which is made even funnier by the fact that Vivzie tries so hard to make him the victim in everything he does. He's either hated by Blitz because of something he deserved, or kidnapped, or shot, or done, I don't know, everyone hates the man, and it's portrayed as if there's no good reason, when I would argue they're the good guys in this scenario. The man is simply god-awful. If he isn't stealing other characters' screen time to have another argument with Blitz that ends the exact same way it did last episode, this bird spends his life ignoring his daughter, eating cereal, crying about a dude he's known for 3 weeks tops, not answering his phone calls today, getting kidnapped by Arthur Morgan, and finally ignoring his daughter again. Poor Octavia, man. She's done so well for herself considering both her mother and father are complete deadbeats. When the season 2 finale released, there were a lot of promises made by the producers, namely one of the producers, and she lied. One of the main promises we're going to talk about was that the entire episode wouldn't just be about Stolas and Blitz again, which makes sense because if this was about Blitz and Stolas again, that would be the 5th episode in a row that had been completely taken over by them. Some would say that having the finale based only on them was absolutely stupid, but apparently those people aren't important enough to warrant a second draft. That, and I'm pretty sure you fired them. Seriously, almost half the series worth of episodes is purely about them, or at the very least has them in it more than the characters that are quote-unquote the main characters of the episode. See anything with Moxie and Millie in it. And if we look at the season 3 leaks, it's not going to get any better. The interesting thing about Stolas is simply all the different reasons that people hate the man's guts. Honestly, it is fascinating. I personally hate him because he's written like piss. Parents hate him for his ignorance of his precious fluff bird. Decent humans hate him for every single action he's ever taken. And Helluva Boss fans hate him for taking up all of Moxie's screen time. Lamal, sorry buddy, no character development for you this season. We have to do the bird arc again. Yes, I know, we already did the Stolas arc literally 3 minutes ago. However, what if, and hear me out on this, we did the exact same scene over and over and over and over again because I don't know how to fucking write anything. Which one of you companies gave her $5,000 million to make this shit?
We got chore, farewell!
You know world hunger still exists? Have you considered putting money into that? You have significantly more power than I do, and you use it to own 5 yachts. Oh, sorry, that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's actually 4 yachts. That's my bad for getting that wrong, I guess. Honestly, I think that's the worst part of Helluva Boss for me. I've said before that Vivzie's position, other than being borderline unearned, puts her in the spotlight for creators looking to her for inspiration, which is a very, very important topic to discuss, by the way. My biggest fear as a content human myself is that some innocent potato who just wants to make something incredible tries it out, realizes it's hard, and then goes to Vivzie for the inspiration they need to continue their good work, only to realize that their idol has become a cesspool of garbage writing, insulting writing, but most importantly, lazy writing. Stolas embodies everything wrong with Vivziepop and her approach to storytelling. Quick, we're out of ideas and the deadline is approaching, even though the creative process for these videos is literal years, and at any point you could have changed the final draft of the season, and for some reason you stuck with this. You had a year to fix this. How does this happen? Oh, right, she fired her creative team. Whoops. Ah, screw it, who needs those guys? Let's quickly slap together a scene where Stolas and Blitz fight or make out, or fight or make out, or you know what? Fuck it, who cares? The majority of the audience will eat this up, and the people who don't, we can bully on Twitter. This is outrageous, by the way. I can't believe that their default approach to any problem in writing is, fuck it, I'm gonna ship that shit.
I'm gonna ship that shit.
Stop using Alfred's Eggman as your basis for company. He got his shit beaten in by a rodent when he had these. I won't go into how annoying it is that the vast majority of the fanbase appears to just not notice how garbo Stolas actually is, especially since despite the critique, most of us do still desperately want to like this show. We remember season 1, back when Stolas was a background character like he was supposed to be, and not the only fucking character in the show, I guess. I was hoping season 3 was going to include far far less of him. If I haven't made it clear yet, I want Season 3 to be as much like Season 1 as humanly possible. Unfortunately, he is literally part of the main cast now. He's in their bloody office for the next 100 years or something. And the man already got way more screen time than everyone in their bar Blitzo combined without him even being a main character. So God knows what we're in for when Season 3 rolls around. I do know it's not looking good, lads. Might as well just call it the Stolas show and stop pretending at this point. It's very clear Vivzie has. Honestly, she'd probably make the title official if it wouldn't damage her profit margins. The background characters are literally only there to sell plushies now, which is depressing. Oh boy, I hope giving Loona a new form wasn't just to sell toys and added as a last draft, he says, knowing that's exactly why Ingley. Well, good to see you added something. I just sort of wish you canned the bloody thing, honestly. But whatever, at least we have, is she supposed to be a horse? What is she? We've never seen any hellhounds do this. Why didn't she do this when the nerds were trying to kill everybody? This seems powerful. Why is she only just now doing— it didn't exist in season— right. I know this rant became a lot more about Vivzie and her garbage than about Stolas, but that's mainly because this man never changes. Millie, Octavia, and Stella were straight up butchered in the finale, but that's because it was their only major screen time in years. Stolas is just as bad as he was in the episode prior. Possibly a bit less shit, but still pretty shit. And it's hard to tell if there's much difference at all because he's in every single episode now and he acts the exact same. He is the secondary protagonist now. It's the Stolas show. It's Blitz and Stolas and some of the other people are there occasionally. They're not on the thumbnail though, don't get me started. Striker, Andrealphus, Stella, and Octavia all exist to be an antagonist to or to facilitate Stolas. They have no character on their own and you will never see them in a scene that isn't about or with Stolas. Stolas is awful. That is his entire thing. Everything around him is awful. His show is now awful because it is about him. I suppose he's got maybe one redeeming scene in the entire season, and it's more the concept of the immovable Chad desk paired with his admittedly fantastic voice acting that pulls it off.
Move, you shitty desk!
I'm sure you could swap out any other character and the scene would still be pretty damn funny. He is a terrible man. I can't tell if he was written this way on purpose for some insane reason, but it really seems like no one knows how to write him properly. I don't think Vivzie wants him to be shit, but he's shit, and seems how she's doing everything her way. I don't know who else I could blame. It's not the voice actor. He's fucking awesome. But what do you think, dear humans? Is the future of the Stolas show bright or dull? Are you still a fan of Stolas and this show, despite their many flaws, or do you wish for them both to burn for their sins? Hey, remember when the show was about hell and not a relationship drama? That was my favorite. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And if you've reached this far into the video, I do really appreciate you taking the time to watch my content. It takes a good long while to make it, especially with these recent meds making me feel a little bit like I've been hit by a freight train. So it is really nice to see a lot of people enjoying the content that I'm so passionate about. The rest of the series will appear shortly for those interested in my other videos, and the next episode on Stella and how much she was wasted this finale will be up in around 2 weeks. And of course, if any of you wanted to subscribe so you didn't miss that episode, I certainly wouldn't protest. Good night, humans, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all ranting about the Bird Queen.